I love porters. It is not Monday.
Of the barefootedness in a club.
I'm so excited. That's skill, man.
I know exactly why. It just, she is what she is. And so I've done a bunch of domestic things that are just, slightly mindless but immediate satisfaction bits. And unfortunately, that has just brought to my attention just what a state my flat is in. I need like a surprise week. Like the room of requirement. I need like the week of requirement. It's going to be a really busy one, this log. It's a very intense week in Oxford. It should be beautiful. It should be so much fun. I'm really glad that you're going to have a chance to come along with me. I'll squirrel you away and you can have a wee peek into a bunch of these stunning libraries.
The Economist. It's very secretive.
Good morning from the Financial Times. Today is Thursday, July 2nd. I'm Mark Filipino and here's the news you need to start your day.
Why do I never know what's going on until it's going on? Too busy. I cannot spell anything. How do I have a single degree when yet I have so very many? Stop singing, just do your work. It's a little later than I would have wanted to start, but I was quite literally cleaning my bins.
Well, the way that we access education is changing.
So my work is mainly with people with lived experience, so not so much the clinical side of it.
Why does he look like he's on a beach? Dave, my buddy, you're gonna get sunburned.
What does your vantage point let you see that the traditional track tends to obscure?
In healthcare environments, I understood a lot of the rubrics and the milestone requirements just from like a fundamental level.
I got tenure, taught for a number of years, but then the lifelong learner in me was not satisfied. And so the research that I started to be attracted to doing was much more philosophical. Well, my background was not in philosophy, so what does a full-time tenured law professor do?
I got my PhD while I was still teaching. It is just this month, a year since I walked away from my tenured job in institutional academia to be a public-facing scholar, because that is where I am seeing the exciting thinking being developed. 20-year-old Cait, please note the leopard print high heels.
Wow.
In hand. The audacity of the barefootedness in a club. A hat whose owner I do not know. And these people surrounding me, who I also do not know. I found myself in these stories that were firstly a means of escapism, that then means of identity. Instead of putting down English 1, I wrote down economics. Oi! Love you, Italian. Both Tolkien and Lewis, during their opposing debates that they had while they were in Oxford, were united in one thing, and that was a vision of the past as a vast mine of imagination.
Good evening, welcome to Oxford and welcome to my 6-bed dorm on a Friday night in July. I need to shove that moisturizer into my face. This is the end of day 1 of the Symposium. I've clearly made a mistake and I'm about to pay for it because I've got 3 nights here. But it is also affordable. and Oxford in July is not, and it is also open weekend. Anyway, we're here. It was a brilliant first day. Cait gave a fantastic keynote, as did Kaelyn. The panels were brilliant, really great ideas, jotting down things all over the place. Tomorrow is the second day of this big old symposium, and no doubt it's going to be absolutely brilliant, and I hope that you're enjoying little snippets as I go. Welcome to the Accepted Society Symposium weekend. It is seminar day 2. It is 7 o'clock. You know, I will admit it is moments like these when I do think full face of foundation, ooh, icy roller thing, gua sha, performance eye patches, I mean, snail larvae. I don't know what people use. Yeah, I could do with it. Oh, get in, the park's open. Oh, thank you. A couple of squirrels just over here that are itching and scratching and digging, and the first time I saw a black squirrel, all's right with the universe.
The ivory tower is neither desirable nor sexy. It's a critique of the institution.
Imagine you've just bought this colony, you want to make it a very good financial harbor, and you just want to make the actual amazing economic success, and suddenly 2/3 of your troops are afflicted with venereal diseases, and there's more registered brothels than private houses.
It was like up until the 1920s. You didn't need a passport, you just walked across. In fact, the US government had one person responsible for monitoring the border between the Pacific Ocean and Texas. That's one dude on foot trying to monitor 700 miles of border.
But also sophisticated defense systems to survive a possible nuclear attack.
And there endeth day 2. I am brain dead and going to the pub.
My friend 3D printed it for me. A
That's
little
amazing. A little That's incredible.
Yeah.
Good morning. It is Monday. It's Monday morning. It's the first day of the writing retreat. I also have a lecture that rolls into the right at the beginning of the writing retreat. So that's fun. It is not Monday. It is Sunday. Apparently, days of the week are just too hard. These weeks are always a lot. They're learning curves, they're discoveries, they're uncomfortable, they are an absolute privilege. But we are headed to the library for, I think, about a 4 or 5 hour stint. I'm trying not to die. I have either had a breakthrough, or I've dissolved my entire raison d'être, but all will be temporarily resolved at the Turf Tavern. I thought that was completely normal. Today is Monday. Tuesday. It's day 3 of the Writers' Retreat, and we've moved to new college. Oh my goodness, I'm exhausted. It's stunning. We could not be physically closer to the Bridge of Sighs. And the other thing that excited me so much when we came up to it is that 2 doors down is a wee little plaque. I'd been listening just the night before to a whole podcast on Halley, Edmund Halley, as in Halley's Comet Halley. And sure enough, 2 doors down is a plaque that has a little golden comet on it, and that's where he stayed. And that's just... it's the Oxford experience, isn't it? Anyway, we're going to the Humanities Library this morning. Here we go again. Day 3. I'm tired. I've just had a meeting with the director of the programme at Oxford that I will be applying to, and I love her. Good evening. Tuesday evening. I've just had a wonderful dinner with Alex, brand new friend from New York, shining, lighting beacon of a creative, hardworking woman. I just, love her. Anyway, earlier today you would have seen me getting extremely sweaty and excited about a meeting that I managed to get with the director of the programme that I'm applying for here at Oxford. And this morning I'd sat in one of the new libraries, the new Humanities Library, and I was doing all the application materials, and it was just occurring to me where I was just not entirely sure whether or not the course was necessarily what I thought it was, or whether I really would fit in to it, because I always knew I would be slightly adjacent to the sort of classic applicant. And that can be a really positive thing, but it can also mean you aren't supposed to be there. It's just not quite for you. So Cait, Genius Cait, had shared with me that she had also been a little bit unsure before she had applied for her master's at Oxford. So Cait's background was law, and she was applying for the literature and arts program here. And she made the decision to email the director of that program to just find out like where she sat in the gambit of applicants. And so she encouraged me to do the same, and I did. And I did get an email, initially really annoyingly, for an exact period of time I had just missed. And then I was like, okay, I'm so sorry. I was in a seminar. If there's anything that's available in the rest of the week. And then I immediately got an email back. It was like, I'm actually still at the office if you want to pop in. I dropped absolutely everything and I booked it. And I got to this meeting and it was brilliant. It was such good advice on Cait's part. And this director, Dr. Spies, was wonderful, brilliant, fabulous chat, really interesting chat. She'd been an alumni of the program herself back in 1995, and it just filled me with all sorts of excitement. And she used a particular phrase that I think it's going to stick with me for the entire time. She called it an existential sabbatical, because the program is really designed for mid-career professionals. We are not talking about the fresh-faced amongst us, and vastly different perspectives, vastly different formats in which, so this is a program in diplomacy, vastly different formats in which diplomacy takes today, because it is not at all simply governmental anymore. It's also not necessarily, anyway, you get the idea. It was a brilliant meeting. I'm so excited. I was also really nervous, so I left a bit of a sweat puddle, and I hate that I'm admitting that on the internet, but I did, because it's 29 degrees and I ran and I was really, really nervous. So that happened. I've had a Guinness. Things are better now. Today is peer review day. Good evening. We are obviously post-shower. I have to pack up tonight because I check out tomorrow. Mind you, the corner of this sits directly above the alleyway that exits the Turf Tavern, which is a very prominent pub here in Oxford, which gives me privy information to a lot of people's lives that I did not ask for. It is Friday morning. It is Thursday morning. Library, seminar,
As you were, we have presentations this afternoon and I have yet to decide what I'm going to deliver. So probably should give that at least a moment's thought.
I love porters. All the porters, I remember them from my boarding school days in Surrey. They're so funny. They're so jovial. They're so friendly. I mean, they talk to people all the time. They probably get the brunt of most complaints and they're just so... I love them. Ideally, I would have liked to achieve more, but credit where credit is due, I have a research proposal now. So my application really just sits in the recommendations that I need to prompt fiercely. It's presentation time.
Oh my God. That's skill, man.
Look at me, I just want to go inside.
Good evening. Hello. We like cheese. C'est chic.
Good afternoon from the top of my bookshelves. You find me in this precarious position because Cait has just left. I am a slightly sad smudge. I have an enormous amount of work to do and not nearly the brain power with which to do it. So instead, the completely logical solution is to utterly rearrange my bookshelves. Join me, why don't you? Okay, I'm checking in because this has become a bit of a catastrophe. So category-wise, because then I need to figure out which shelves can deal with the heights of which groups of books. Fiction over here, which moves into philosophy back there, biography here, critical thinking over here. Science, we have science fiction, we have pilgrimage, continuing. We have economics, we have travel, so this is general travel and a lot of walking. And then we have sort of history, politics, that kind of critical thinking, into heaven knows what, into poetry. She is what she is. We are figuring it out.
So I've tried making sense of my schedule on 3 separate sort of templates, and it's not making sense on any of them, and I blame the stationery. The schedule's just impossible. I think for the first time in my life, considering asking for an extension. I don't love it, and I don't know why. I think I have a feeling that if you ask for an extension, then you really ought to be delivering, like, the Gettysburg bloody address. At best, they're getting a haiku.
Good after Sunday noon. I've got snackage. I'm actually really pleased with how this is coming along. I see that. I like that because that's exactly like those are the tropes, the opposite of which would be Elizabeth. So this paper specifically is looking at the different methodological approaches towards researching the conversion of UNESCO World Heritage inscription from what it ought to be, i.e. a practice of conservation and recognition of sort of global cultural value and natural value,
into what it sort of practically actually is, which is a sort of transaction of political and economic favor. I'm so excited. I'm obviously heading to Spain tomorrow, and I've got a new harness that I will be using obviously at the wedding I'm shooting in Portugal, but first I'm using it to shoot the Festa de Carmen, which is a maritime Christian festival off the coast in Galicia. So I've got 2 cameras. I'm having a much bigger lens than this on this hand side.
Good morning. It's 4 a.m.
Let's go to Gatwick. Hello, a proper nap was not had, but I did sort of shut my eyes for an hour, which was really, really nice. The whole class has got, not just me, a surprise extension on the paper that would otherwise be due in 2 weeks, and I'm so grateful. Okay, I apologize slightly ahead of time because I'm utterly brain dead. I've been awake since 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm in Spain. I am Talissa, obviously, as Kaelyn said. I am a documentary filmmaker and photographer, and my sort of specialty in terms of field is pilgrimage. So I'm studying politics and economics with a view to like UNESCO and sort of the sort of cultural institutions and their economic viability.